Welcome to the So Much More podcast, where we talk with people in the custom window treatment, soft home furnishings industry, and so much more. I'm your host, Ciel DeGuglielmo. My guest on the podcast today is Rachel Bristow. Rachel is married to her amazing husband, Victor, and has been for 16 years. Together, they have 11 children and 13 grandchildren. Rachel's been in business for 12 years, but she did not start out doing window treatments. That's been a new change to her business, and we're going to talk about that today. But she does come from a long line of sewers. Her mother was a bridal genius, as she says, and could alter any type of clothing. When Rachel became a widow, her mother showed her how to tailor so that she could support her 6 children. And so her journey began. And one of the things I really enjoyed discussing with Rachel was how much support her mom was to her, but not just in what she taught her skill-wise, but how she gave her a great mindset and explained to her that she was going to do great things. It was really a pleasure to talk to Rachel today, and I hope that you enjoy hearing from her. Hi, Rachel. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. I would love for my listeners to learn a little bit about you. So if you could introduce yourself, tell us where in the world you live, and just a little bit about yourself.
I'm Rachel Bristow. I live in a small, quaint little town on the north side of Indianapolis called Zionsville, Indiana. And I'm married. I have a wonderful husband. And we have 11 children together and 13 beautiful, amazing grandchildren.
Wow.
And I'm growing a thriving business here in little Zionsville.
I'm not sure how you find the time to do that, but I'm one of 9, so 11 doesn't sound quite as drastic as it might to some other people, but that's a lot of
Yeah.
human beings.
It's a lot of human beings. Yes. Thankfully, they're all grown-ups.
Okay. Okay. And with
Yes.
13
Yeah.
grandchildren, though, that must keep you busy. Are they local to you?
About 6 or 7 of them are local. And we try to spend time with them as much as we can, but
Mhm.
raising so many children, I don't really babysit.
My dad used to say that.
People
I
think it's
think
really weird as a grandmother, but
no, I don't actually, and I can remember my dad. I did have to ask him one time to babysit because my daughter was sick and I had to go do something. I just wanted him to stay in the house. He didn't have to touch her. He didn't have to do anything, and he was happy to do it for me. But I knew
yeah,
that was not his happy place. He raised 9 children. He felt no need to help us raise our own children.
I totally understand it. I love to play with them. When they're here, I'm on the floor. We're playing hard, but when it's time to go, I love you. Bye-bye.
I love that. So tell me, how did you get started in this business?
So I grew up with my mom doing it as a business.
Okay.
And she was kind of a genius when it came to alterations. I
Okay.
always called her that. And I became a widow at a young age, and I had 6 children at the time. And she said, "You can make money sewing." And I had already been sewing. I was sewing for a clothing designer,
Okay.
making, I don't know, 23 to 30 garments per week for her. So I thought, okay, I can do this. So she showed me, I went over, she showed me how to shorten the sleeves on a men's suit coat and do a waist and seat. And I left and had an interview and got a job. So then
Okay.
I thought, okay, I can do this. Yeah. And it turned out to be my natural talent. So,
Okay. And alterations and creating clothing are very different from window treatment. So how did you start doing window treatments?
well, I started I had worked for a few interior designers just doing simple things, pillows, cushions, tried my hand at upholstery, and I just really enjoyed it. I liked the creativity of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then a couple of years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I started looking at all the Facebook groups and I just started watching and trying my hand at some things as far
Okay.
as draperies. Draperies made me very stressed out. There's a lot of math, and it's a different part of your brain than clothes. I can alter
It,
clothes without turning my brain on.
so that fascinates me, Rachel, because I have always said I did make clothing for a little while. I did do a few alterations, and now there isn't enough money in the world to pay me to do that. And for me to make a drapery panel, like the window's not going to change size, they're not going to feel puffy when I
Mhm.
go to install them. And I did some bridal work for a while, and that can be very stressful for the people involved. But I didn't think about it as the math being stressful, even though I am not a math person by any stretch of the imagination. But I find it so fascinating how we can find our, like you said, natural talents. Like even my husband
Mhm.
will come to me, oh, can you shorten these pants? Please don't make me. Please do not make me do that.
Yeah, and
And
my mom was this is how good she was. I had an elderly lady come in to my shop because I had a brick and mortar.
mhm,
She wanted me to turn drapery panels into swags. And I turned and looked at my mom because she would come and spend time at my shop.
mhm.
And I said, "Is that a thing?" And she said, "It'll be fine." And she took the drapery panels and she hung them on the side of my table. I don't know exactly what she did. I call it my mom voodoo. And she, no measurement, no nothing. She just pinned them up there and she made swags in about 2 hours.
Wow. Wow.
I was like,
That
I'm
is a
not sure
natural
what you
talent.
just, yeah, yeah, that was Eloise voodoo.
I love
So,
that.
yeah, and I really enjoyed it. So I learned, and through the Facebook groups, I found my mentors. They reached out and they just happened to be in Carmel, Indiana, which is 20 minutes away. And
Okay.
it's Mark and Kathy from Silk Mountain.
Oh, I
And
love them. They are such nice people.
I love them. They're so delightful and they help me no matter how many times I call. They're fantastic. And I really enjoy Mark's dry sense of humor.
Right.
Um, and they reached out and they kind of helped me along the way for a year before I ever transitioned into this as a business. So
Okay.
the final push was my mom got sick, and I thought, I can't have people in my house because at that time I
Right.
was doing full time bridal and I would
Okay.
have 15 to 20 brides a week. And I thought, if I am going to take care of my mother in home, I can't do both.
Right.
So I thought I could probably go in my garage and make window treatments in between caring for her.
Hmm.
So I started transitioning. Well, then she passed away in November of 24 and I just kept transitioning because I really enjoyed the freedom and I could just go in there and work and enjoy my time and not be constantly interrupted or the push for daily timelines.
Right. Right. So
So
first of all, I'm so sorry about your mom. I know that has to must have been very
thank you.
difficult for you, especially since you were her caregiver.
We were incredibly close. We worked together and we were together, I don't know, 3 or 4 days a week and on the phone every single day.
Yeah.
She was my best friend, truly.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That must have really been difficult.
It was, but I carry her picture in my workroom and I'm like, look what I made, Mom.
I love that.
So
And it's interesting because and I said how much I dislike doing alterations. There's a woman who's not too far from me. I had her do the alterations for my older daughter's bridal gown. She's lined up to do my younger daughter's bridal gown. And I had her
Mhm.
do my dress because I really dislike, and I'm also not always good at the mechanics of fitting. And
Mm,
I can see what a talent it is, but I've watched this woman scheduling things and I've seen her calendar hanging in her workroom and the number of people she needed to see every week and the
mm.
number of garments and pieces that were in her workroom. And I feel stressed out when I'm in her workroom. So I'm wondering for you, how different does it feel now that people are not coming into your house on a regular basis? How different does it feel to have a longer deadline in which you can complete something? Like are there parts of that that you are thrilled that you've made the change? Are there any parts of you that wish you were still doing alterations?
It's it's funny. It's a completely different scheduling system. It was hard for me to get used to slowing down.
I can
I
imagine.
I tend to do things very quickly because I mean part of that was when you work out in retail, everything has a time attached to it. And
Yeah.
you're required to do so many garments per day depending
Hmm.
on the time. So that's just how I have trained myself to work. So I have to tell myself we're just going to relax. We're just going to relax. I still tend to probably overfill because
Okay.
partially because I have two people and they happen to be my cousins, hence the name.
Okay.
And I have to make sure that we have the right amount of work here to pay them and to
Okay.
pay me. And so I still tend to fill my schedule. I'm working on
Okay.
that.
Are they working full time for you, Rachel?
One cousin, she does all the upholstery for our workroom.
Okay.
Um, and then, so she does that actually. She takes it with her and does it at her house. And she'll do pillows and cushions if I need that.
Okay.
The other cousin, I brought her on in November of last year. And yes, she is full time.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do you have a separate space? Is it part of your home?
Well, it's supposed to all be in the garage. We have a large two-car garage. But looking around, just beyond my computer, there's two king-size sheets of foam and about 30 rolls of fabric, and there's some in the kitchen and some in the family room.
Okay.
So, my
There's my
husband just
answer.
told me, yeah, he just told me, he said, you got to find a space. So,
So, Rachel, it's interesting to me. Um, you grew up with your mom having it as a business. You're using words and saying things that a lot of people, a couple, and you ran your own business before doing the window treatment part of it. But there
mhm,
are a lot of things that people who learned to sew and turned it into a business kind of hung on to the hobby mentality and not
mm,
really about making money. And you've already said, I have to pay them a salary, I have to pay me a salary. But considering the length of time that you've been doing this, you've really expanded quite a bit. And now, as your husband is saying, you need to find a space. So,
yes.
what do you think has been the difference for you than maybe it has been for some other people who really took their time and maybe didn't charge enough in the beginning to actually get a salary? And you've been, from my side of things, you appear to be doing this as a business for a very long time.
Yeah, probably so. I think part of the difference is I really didn't have a choice.
Okay.
I couldn't. go about things leisurely. I mean, first of all, raising that many kids suddenly by yourself,
Hmm.
you know, there was no choice. Either
Okay.
you sink or swim. And I chose to swim. And I think because my mom did it, she was always in my ear with encouragement
Right.
and teaching, and she taught me how to do the accounting part. She just,
Okay.
do she did what moms do. She tucked me in under her wing and said, "All right, we're going to go and you're going to be
Okay.
fine."
Okay.
So I didn't really my husband and I talked about this cuz I listened to a lot of your podcasts. And I said, I think the difference is I've always had to earn money to contribute, either to fully take care of or to contribute,
Right.
because having that many people depend on you is a lot.
Yes.
So
I
I
definitely
guess,
have seen a different mindset from people who have been either in your situation or a similar situation where, as you said, you didn't have a choice. It's sink or swim. And we need income. And I have a way to do that if I do it the right
mm,
way. And
yes,
I think that sometimes when we don't have um, there's no lifeboat. You've got to
no,
do it or you're done. I think that
yeah,
makes a difference.
it really does. And my first space, whenever I was opening an alteration shop, the gentleman that I leased the space from, he said, "Are you sure you can make money sewing? I've never heard of anybody making money sewing." And I said, "Well," handed him my financials. I said, "I made like way over $100,000 last year, him and pants." "Yes, it'll be fine."
Trust me. but but the power and the strength behind knowing that and knowing that you could respond to that, but also that you could afford to rent a space and still be profitable is not something that a lot of women in particular and women business owners have come into this with, at least not my generation and older. I
Hmm.
think for a lot of us, it's been this will be a couple extra, and I've seen just really wonderful, tremendous changes in our industry. So that makes a difference. But a lot of us went into art, well, I can make a couple extra bucks. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until people in our industry started
Mm.
saying, no, 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 that's not a couple extra bucks. This is a salary and this is a viable business. And it's just, it's refreshing to me to hear that you started that way and didn't start like many of us did, like, oh, this is a few bucks. I've got to make some money.
Hmm. Yeah, and I knew the number. It was
Yeah,
the whole thing is, I think, is terrifying. I mean,
agreed.
as women in general, I don't know how old you are, but I'm like 56.
Oh,
We
I'm a
were
lot older
raised
than you.
the way I was raised, like women, we took care of the house, we were a good wife, we were a good mom, all those things.
Hmm.
And a lot of the women I knew, they didn't work outside of the house. So, from the men in my life, they looked at it as, oh, she's just making shoe money.
Gotcha.
But my mother was a single mom.
Okay.
And she said, "This is not shoe money. You don't have time for shoe money. You're going to make
Oh,
big money. That's what you're going to do." And
oh, Rachel, I love that.
yeah. So whatever she said, I just took it in. I said, "All right,
Okay.
then I can do it."
This is not shoe
So
money. I like that. You're going to make big money. That's,
that's
I might
right.
write that down and stick it on my computer and steal that from your mom.
And she said, you know what, because I was afraid to deal with brides, partially because my whole life I was incredibly shy. Like I
Okay.
never talked to anyone ever. And she said, "You're going to have to be strong and you're going to have to be confident, because if you show weakness, They will eat you alive. I said,
And she's right.
okay.
Yeah.
And she said, no matter when you're dealing with people and you're running a business, you need to step out in strength,
Yeah.
hold your head up high. You're going to be fine. And if you're afraid, just don't let them see it. You can cry
Right.
later.
That's right. I love that she was so supportive of you, Rachel. That's
Oh,
incredible.
she
Yeah.
truly was.
But she also lived it as a single mom. So she knew
Oh,
that there was no other
yes.
option.
Yeah, that
Okay.
is the truth.
Okay. So you're making this transition into window treatments. You're learning how to make things. You have two wonderful people. Mark and Kathy are really great people
Hmm.
to help you out. Are you doing retail to the trade, both? How is your business set up?
I'm actually doing both.
Okay.
Mark and Kathy, because they're slowing down, they have referred a couple of their designers to
Okay.
me, which has been fantastic. I actually just through one of the, I guess it's Colleen through Lafayette. She referred a lady that works for a company out of Chicago, and that is kind of both because
Okay.
that company is a manufacturing company and they do things for retail and um, hospitality. So
Okay.
with that, they send me their specs and an idea of fabric. I sell them the fabric, make the product, and ship it to them.
Awesome.
So that's fantastic, which it's production work, which I super love.
Okay.
Um, and then I have people that just call me out of the blue, or their friend told them, and I
Right.
go. And so it's definitely both. And I
Okay.
enjoy it being both because if I didn't have retail, I would probably never leave my house. Um,
Okay. I get that.
my
It
husband
gets
laughs because he always says, "You only leave the house on Friday." I said that's the only day of the week that I drive my truck, and I don't want to leave any other time.
and if you're happy doing what you're doing at home, then what reason do you have to leave?
Yeah, I don't have a reason. So,
S- s- So, Rachel, I asked this next question, and I'm always curious, especially because we were just saying, like, you, especially as a single mom, unexpectedly with six children, like, what choices did you have? You had to keep going. But as you've established this business, have you ever thought about quitting?
what when I was doing alterations
Mhm.
every day, but but since I've transferred into this, I have not. Um,
Okay.
I really enjoy it. I enjoy the designers. I'm very picky about the designers.
Okay.
Um, the only time I've ever considered it is when I have to learn another new thing. And then I think to myself, you're crazy. I don't know how you think your brain can hold another thing.
Hence me not being able to come up with words once in a while. So I get that.
Yeah, I mean, doing alterations for years, it really is another part of your brain.
Yeah.
So I always think, okay, if I want to learn how to do a Roman blind with a motorized shade, I've got to empty out another file.
Right.
And I still haven't tackled a motorized anything because I don't have any empty files yet.
I get that. Do you remember the TV show Murphy Brown?
Briefly.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say
I mean, I just barely.
you're probably a little on the young side for that one, but they're they used to go to a bar, Phil's bar, and Phil was the bartender. And he knew everything about everyone in Washington. And if like he could just spit out every little detail. And one day somebody asked him a question and he stood there and he couldn't answer it. And he said, I've got to let go of Truman's hat size. And that has stuck with me for so long because that's exactly
Yes.
right. There is stuff I have to let go of in order to let the new stuff come in. And that's not
Yes.
easy to do. But I
It's
like
not.
the filing cabinet analogy. I've
That's
got to
how I
empty
think
out some
about.
filing cabinets.
Yeah. Whew. And I part of that for me is physically letting all the alteration supplies go. Because
Oh,
that
I didn't think
that was
about that.
hard
Okay.
because partially because it was so connected to my mother,
Yes.
but my mother has a lot of sisters and they also and a lot
Okay.
of them do it professional. So I called them and said, I'm going to have a luncheon. I'm going to put everything out and you can take whatever you want.
Okay.
And so that's going to help me, I think.
Okay. What a nice way to handle that. And then it will physically make some space. I don't know about the mental filing cabinet, but it'll make some physical space for you.
I'm hoping.
So, Rachel, I feel sometimes I love asking this next question, but sometimes it feels a little trite for someone who was a widow with six children and has been a caregiver for your mom. But I think that our perspective on things is important. And I would love to know for you personally, what have been some of the biggest challenges of getting your business going?
Um, some of the I thought about this. The hardest thing for me was to be brave enough to learn so many new things
Okay.
and to be confident that I could do it. Which that sounds silly. I've sewn my whole life. I can sew, but it's different sewing.
It
And
absolutely is. And I don't think that's silly at all. When you talk about alterations, I really don't know how to do them.
it's
I
it's like
really
your
don't.
brain is wired for specific things.
Yeah.
And alterations is my natural talent, hands
Okay.
down, especially tailoring. I can tailor right alongside the best of them.
Okay.
But just simple things. I had to go to Mark and Kathy so she could show me how to hand sew the side hems properly because my stitches that I use for alterations are different. Just the needle size is different. I'm used to using
Right.
like a little 1 inch needle so I can sew very finely.
Yes.
And she said, You can't use that. I said, I already know. I tried.
That's why I'm here.
So it's just little things like that that you don't think about. That's been a big challenge. And the time management of the orchestra. I call it my orchestra life. The time management difference has been a huge challenge.
Okay.
But I think I'm finally getting a handle on it. Um, the Facebook groups have been super helpful
Hmm.
because just one of the things that somebody said was get a whiteboard and just put everything on the whiteboard.
Right.
So I did that straight away. And I was like, oh my gosh, that seems very simple, but it helped my brain
Yes. And
because
it's
I wasn't.
visual.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
those have been the hardest things. And to know all the rules. I feel like
Right.
everything you do has a set of rules and guidelines to follow, especially when you get into commercial projects.
Right. Right.
That one has been, and you got to deal with different counties, and every county has a different rule.
Yes, they do. And it's interesting because there are many ways to do some of the things that we do. People have different Roman shade methods. People have different,
Hmm.
top down, bottom up. Do they table their drapes from the top or the bottom? But when it comes to commercial work, those are not rules that can be broken. Those are rules that have to be followed if you
Exactly.
want to be hired again and you want to be paid and all of
Hmm.
that. So, okay. Okay.
Yes. Which I really do enjoy that. My brain, I see everything and I do everything like a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they call me or email me and send me their spec sheets, it's an immediate puzzle that I'm
Okay.
about to put together. And it's very exciting. And there's
Okay.
a lot of layers, and it's weeks of building this puzzle,
Yes.
and then I get to see the end result when the boxes go out.
Okay. All right.
So,
So here's a question for you because I'm always intrigued by people who go to installs, don't go to installs. You're shipping things out. When they leave your workroom, do you think about them again? Like, are you, like you just said, the finished product, it's going out. How do you feel when that's done? Do you worry about what happens after that?
uh, yeah, I'm a panicked mess. I had a shipment that went out on Monday to this manufacturing place, and the project manager, you text him, email him, you become kind of friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Did you receive the panels?" He said, "Yes, I did." Okay, and
I know
so
I'm like, hold my breath. Like, isn't there more to
what?
that?
So I said, "Okay, finally." I gave it a day because I know they're busy. These are going in a retail store. So I sent him a text and I said, "Did you have any feedback on the drapes?"
Oh,
Nothing.
good way to put that.
Nothing. I thought, "Oh goodness, he's going to make me crazy." Yeah, and still today, nothing.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I thought, okay, I just gotta, I guess no news is good news.
That's
Maybe there
how
won't be yeah, there may not be feedback back until they get installed in the location, which he will
okay.
go and do that.
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna go with.
Okay. All right. I like that mindset. I like that. The sponsors of the So Much More podcast allow me to bring guests to you each week. And without them, I couldn't do it. I'm pleased as the owner of the Curtains and Soft Furnishings Resource Library that I can use the library to help sponsor the podcast as well. The library hosts the industry's largest curated collection of educational resources for the custom home furnishings professional. Membership to the library gives you access to a wealth of downloadable reference materials, videos, live events, as well as a community of support to help you develop your design, sales, and fabrication skills, and to grow or start a business. Join the library today at csfrl.org. The Workroom Channel is the premier online training provider for professional fabrication skills. Go to theworkroomchannel.com to browse the selection of anytime access courses created by industry experts. Watch detailed demonstration videos, download companion materials, and participate in private course discussion boards with your instructor and classmates from around the world. Start your course path today at theworkroomchannel.com. Education, networking, visibility, and industry discounts are just a few of the benefits that are offered to members of the Window Covering Association of America. The WCAA is the only national nonprofit trade association that's dedicated to the window coverings industry and the dealers, decorators, workrooms, designers, and installers that make up our membership. The library is a gold level sponsor of the WCAA. Join today at WCAA.org. WCAA, where you are never in business alone. Discover Cavenaugh Studios, where innovation meets exceptional design. Cavenaugh fabric and wallpaper collections are inspired by the original works of collaborating artists and developed with the understanding of how fabrics are manipulated into exquisite soft home furnishings. Workroom businesses enjoy exclusive access to engineered designs and best trade pricing. From clever layouts to classic linen prints, Cavenaugh Studios delivers the quality and consistency that your business demands. And Cavenaugh's reliable, on-time delivery keeps your projects running smoothly. Go to cavenaghstudios.com for swatches and trade account information. Cavenaugh Studios, for the joy and profit of workrooms. Rachel, how do you define success?
Success is different for me.
Okay.
I When I look at my children, I see success. Um, I always tell them, if when I die, if the one thing you can say about your mother is that she loved well, then I have achieved the greatest success. And so that for me is a big deal because it for especially me and my biological children, that was a hard thing. We became a very tight team.
I'm sure
So
you
when
did.
they became amazing grown-ups, because I always looked at them as my biggest job.
Hmm.
That was my one job. And I said, "You are an amazing adult, and I can't ask for anything else. I have achieved
Wow.
greatness as a mother."
I don't disagree with that, and I'm amazed at how I never get the same definition of success. And I'm amazed at how um, taken aback I can be by some of the answers because they're so beautiful. And that's, I have to say, that is one of the loveliest things I've heard in terms of a definition of success.
Oh,
That
wow,
you
thank
loved
you.
well. And I think that's really beautiful. And I think that if if that is something that your children can say about you, yes, that's a life well lived.
Hmm. Yes,
I
I
love that.
agree.
Okay. So that being said, what happens when you make a mistake? And there's especially people working for you, mistakes can happen. And you already said you went into panic mode with no feedback on the drape. So what happens when there's a mistake in your workroom?
It depends on the mistake. Uh now so the cousin I have now, she's learning. So
Hmm.
she she gets to work on things that if there is a mistake, it doesn't cost very much money. Um and I she made a mistake Tuesday. She cut a hole in something and she was crying. I said, "Listen, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right." And it was a fixable mistake, but she didn't know it was fixable.
Right,
I said,
right.
"We can fix almost anything."
Because in
And
that
it's
moment, you
just,
can't think, you can't plan or decide how you're going to fix it. You're just panicking.
yes. I used to really beat myself up and never let it go and just fuss over it forever. I think the older I get, I just think it's fabric. It's going to be fine. I'll
Yeah,
just buy more.
yeah.
And it always ends up being okay. I don't beat
Okay,
myself up anymore. And I don't want to I can't panic if she makes a mistake because
right.
that would just make it all worse.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah, I said we're going to learn how to navigate through anything, mistakes, especially with grace,
Okay.
and it's
Rachel,
going
I
to be
love
okay.
that. And it's interesting because you already answered my next question, and that is sometimes we are kinder to the people around us and who work for us than we are
Mhm.
to ourselves. But you're right. And do you feel like it makes a difference that she's a family member working for you? Has that posed any additional challenges?
Um no,
Okay.
I've had outside employees because when I had my brick and mortar, I had 5 employees.
Okay.
And I went on vacation and someone brought in 3 Armani suits. And one of my interns decided she would shorten the sleeves. And I got the call while I was on my vacation. And I was like, the first question is, I'm not sure why you thought it was a good idea to shorten the sleeves on a suit, let alone an Armani suit, and you don't
Hmm.
even know how. It was my first complaint ever in 35 years.
Oh, Rachel.
I was
And did it
very
have to be an
upset.
Armani?
eventually it could be fixed. But I I I don't yell. I learned years ago to not yell. That's all I would have been doing my whole life with all those kids.
With that many
Um,
kids, yes.
I had a whistle. Um, so I didn't yell, but I said, I want you to call the gentleman and tell him that he can pick them up on this day, and then you put them aside and don't touch them again. And that was the end of it. Because, of course, one sleeve was shorter than the other.
Of course it was.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's been a few years. So now I'm just like, it's going to be all right.
Okay, I like that. So, Rachel, you mentioned some of the Facebook groups being helpful. Are you a book reader? You've learned a lot about business from your mom. Have there been any other ways that you have learned about running a business or running a workroom business in particular?
I have books. If I start to read them, I go to sleep. So maybe someday I will read them. But really, I learned the most from listening. And
Okay,
I've been listening to Michelle Williams for a couple of years. I actually have as many podcasts as I can on business and
okay,
marketing. I
okay.
listen to your podcast. I listen to the one Workroom Tech,
Yes,
I think. Yeah,
30
that's how
minutes
I
with
learned
workroom
about.
tech. Yeah,
I listened to an hour episode on scissors, and my
yeah,
husband was like,
right.
that was an hour on scissors? I said, it was fascinating. I had no idea.
Well, we
It was
thought so.
great.
That's why we were able to
Yeah,
talk about it for that long. But yes, I get
I thought
it.
it was fantastic. So I've learned a ton from listening.
Okay.
And if I hear a little nugget in there that I want to go back, I run over and write down the podcast.
Okay.
So then, because they just play all day
Yes.
on just one right after the
Okay.
other. And I go back and listen. Several
Okay.
of them that you did, I've actually listened to 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Um, there's one with, um, what is her name? Something Cavenaugh.
Oh, Stacy
Cavenaugh?
Cavenaugh. Yes.
Stacy Cavenaugh. And I found the YouTube channel. So I watched all the workrooms where people, I forget the,
It's
I think that's
the
Janelle's.
workroom channel. Yes, it's Janelle's, and she does
Yes.
the workroom tours. Yes.
Oh my goodness. The amount of information on there. So I listened to her podcast and then I found her episode on YouTube. And I think I've watched that a couple of times too,
Okay.
because eventually we will have that similar model.
Okay.
That's what we're working towards.
Okay.
So,
So that's my question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why don't you share that now then? And I won't ask it later.
so I mean, that I would like to have a space where people can come and learn in
Okay.
a peaceful, graceful atmosphere.
Okay.
Because this stuff, anybody can learn it, I feel like. The cousin I have now, she had never done anything.
Okay.
And it took me maybe 2 weeks, and she hemmed 18 pairs of pants in an hour and a half because I started her on something simple. But
Right.
she's learned how to do welt cord, and she can make a pillow now, and just one step at a time. So I would like to have a space where people can come and learn the trade and
Okay.
then go out.
Okay.
And yeah,
I
so
love that.
that's what I would like. But I would like it
Okay.
to be that's why I liked her episode. I would like it to be a space where they can learn whatever they feel like they're good at, and also the business stuff, because you can
Yes.
create all you want to, but if you don't learn the business stuff, you're just going to be treading water,
Yes.
and that's not no more treading water.
I agree with that. So, one of the things that I loved about interviewing Stacy is that she has that calm demeanor, and
Mhm.
what we do can be very stressful. And so I
Yes.
love that you said that, to learn in a calm environment. And Rachel, you've expressed something a couple times that I find really interesting. You mentioned having a natural talent, but you've also talked about being able to learn things. And I think that in the years that I've been interviewing people, that sometimes they hiring someone who already knows how to sew or who already knows how to make window treatments is not always the best choice, because they have their set way of doing things. Where if they bring in someone like your cousin who doesn't know how to do those things, you can teach them the way you want them to learn it,
Mhm.
and then
Whenever
it's done
I
the way you want it.
Yes. When I would hire people before, on their first day, I would hand them a trash can and I would say, "Everything you know, I want you to empty out and put in this trash can.
Excellent.
And then we're going to start new."
Okay.
And what I would do is I would watch them, I would show them different things, give them different things to work on, and I would see what they seem to be the best at. Because people will
Okay.
tell you without saying anything. You can tell by the faces they make and how they're just their whole body. You can
Yes.
see. And I mean, for example, one of my cousins, the one that does upholstery now, I did that. She worked with me for about 3 years. When
Okay.
she first came, she said, "I can't sew zippers." I was like, "Why not?" She said, "I've never been able to sew a zipper." And I said, let me see you try." And I said, "I know what the problem is. You have a bad attitude about the zipper." And she she was my cousin, so I mean, I would say that to anybody, but she was getting so upset and I said, "I want you to take that and throw it on the floor and walk away. Go to the bathroom or something. When you come back, I want you to pick it up and sew the zipper." And she did all of that, and she came back and she sewed the zipper perfectly. I
I
said,
love
"Sometimes
that.
it's just about whatever's in your brain."
Right, right, right. Yes.
So,
And Rachel, it's interesting because I was just speaking with someone else recently who has grown their workroom business and has new employees. And they were saying that they hired a couple people for a specific job and like sat down with them and said, "You're not a good fit for this. Let's find out what your skills are and move you to a different spot." And I
yes.
love that because I think, to your point, we can learn things, but if you're watching someone and their body language and their eye rolling, like, that might not be their best spot. Doesn't mean they can't do
No.
it, but if you can find a place where their skills really shine and they're willing to learn to do new things,
Mhm.
then that's the best spot for them.
Exactly. I mean, this same cousin, her name's Sonia, I said, "Okay, so today we need to reupholster this chair."
Hmm.
And everything about her lit up as we were moving through the process,
Okay.
even the hard stuff like taking it apart. And when she was done, she celebrated. And I was like, "This is what you're good at." I said, "This
Yes.
made me so happy." And she is amazing at upholstery.
Okay.
And I said, "That will be your job."
Okay. And had she done any upholstery before that?
Only a couple of things with her mom,
Okay.
just for themselves, kind of for fun. But
Okay.
I even brought her to the conference in September.
Hmm.
And I said, "I'm gonna pay for your ticket," and I signed you up for your class. I signed up for all her classes. And she's like, "Oh, okay." And it was all the upholstery classes.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, after every class, it was nonstop words of excitement.
Oh, I
She
love it.
loved every second of it.
Okay.
And it was good skills for her to learn, because it was a lot of things, we're just learning from YouTube and books.
Right.
Um, and she's learning it. If there's something she gets and she doesn't know what to do, does a YouTube, or she calls another one of our aunts that's also really good at upholstery.
Okay.
And we drive an hour and a half with the piece, and she shows us what to do.
I
It's
love
fantastic.
that.
Hmm.
That's fabulous that you have family members you can do that with. Most of us cannot say that.
No, it's been such a blessing. Sometimes if I have gotten behind, I will call all of my aunts because my mom had 9 sisters.
Oh my
And I'll say,
goodness.
are you guys all available for like a sew day? And whoever can come, they come carrying their machines, and we set all the machines up and sit in here and sew. It's fantastic.
Rachel, I am very rarely jealous of other people, but right now that sounds like the best thing in the whole world. I think
Oh,
that's
it
amazing that you
is.
have that.
I feel truly blessed for
I
sure.
love it. So I'm curious about you mentioned having things that were for alterations that you're no longer using. You've had to use a lot of different tools and things in your businesses. What three items could you not live without, whether they're business items or workroom items?
Um, my I inherited my mother's machine, and I love that machine. It's the one that it's computerized and it like cuts the thread and
Oh, nice.
all the things. I love it. Uh, my iron, because most of our job is ironing, I feel like. Um, what else? Probably my pneumatic tools.
Yeah.
I love them.
Okay.
So
Again, I never
those,
get the same answers with that too, which I love. Rachel, as someone who has had a business sewing for the a good part of your life, do you ever do any sewing for pleasure?
I do. Um, so the children and I decided that we really enjoy handmade gifts.
Oh, nice.
And so for birthdays and holidays, especially Christmas, everybody, if they can't make something, they buy it from someone that handmade it.
Oh, perfect. I
So,
love that.
yeah, so for Christmas, I start in like August, and I don't I will come up with a theme. One
Okay.
year I made well, half of my grandkids. I didn't get them all finished, but I made them each a quilt.
Oh,
Um
wow.
and we just make all kinds of stuff. So I really enjoy that. I made
Okay.
them all, bags out of the scraps cuz I'm a hoarder of all things fabric.
Aren't we
And
all?
whenever I met Ann Johnson, she said, "We're going to have to talk about this." Because I said, "I have a storage unit for all of my fabric scraps and trim scraps." But I go there and I pull bins out and I make bags,
Okay.
and I fill the bags with other handmade things. I call them mom's favorite things.
Okay. I love
So,
that.
yeah. And the
So
bags are
you
quick and easy.
and you're using your stash.
I use it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And might take the two of us to task over that, but what is your favorite thing to make, Rachel?
I really enjoy making pillows.
Okay.
It doesn't matter the pillow. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the trims, the needle points, turning needlepoint into pillows, and it's just quick satisfaction. Like
Okay.
it's done in about 20 minutes and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous."
Okay. Aren't pillows beautiful? I do
I
love that
love
about them.
them.
Even
I
if they're
do love them.
simple with a contrast welt cord like they're just beautiful.
Yes, once you put the fill in. Now, I'm not a favorite of the plaid, and plaid
No.
seems to be very popular right now. It took me 3 hours the other day to match plaid on a
Oh.
cushion,
Oh.
and I thought, "I don't think I like that."
I might have used stronger words if I was the one doing it. Rachel, what do you do extremely well?
Um, well, I don't know. I do. I am a really good cook.
Are you?
Yes, I really love it. It's my happy time, my happy
Okay.
place, and I cook gluten free because I have to be. And
Okay.
I really enjoy the science of it.
Okay. Well, since you enjoy the math of window treatments, that doesn't surprise me. I feel like you're one of those rare people that has the creative brain and the logical, practical brain. But
Yes.
it's interesting because, my mother had 9 children. She did not like to cook. It was something she
Oh,
had to do to feed her children.
yes.
So I'm just thinking like, what a wonderful thing for you to love under the circumstances, since you probably had to do a lot of it.
A lot. A
Yeah,
lot. And with food allergies, you can't like I don't buy things at the store. I just
right,
don't.
right. You can't
Uh
take that chance.
no. And so one of the wonderful things with the cooking, my husband and I started having the children, like if they're single, just them, or if they're a couple,
Hmm.
once a month, I invite them, I formally invite them to a
Okay.
fancy dinner at the parentals, because that's what they call us. They're parentals. And we make a big to do. It's usually a 4 or 5 course meal with cocktails and drinks and all the fancy fun. And we
What
just
a
serve
wonderful
them.
thing. Okay.
Oh my gosh, they love it so much. And I try to make, something fairly extravagant that there's
Hmm.
no way they're going to, they won't try it at a restaurant, but
Right.
they'll try it here. So, and they really love it.
Wow, what a great tradition.
Yeah. Yeah, we enjoy it too because we get to spend time with just them.
Yes, and for anyone who doesn't have a large family, that is a challenge. And
Truly.
I've said this. I have 3 sisters and 5 brothers, and I am very close to my sisters. Not as close to my brothers, but we're a close family. But
Hmm.
it's hard to have that one-on-one time, and
It
it's
is.
also hard for everyone to be together at the same time because it's a lot of people.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then you don't have
We
that kind of interaction with individuals.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we really enjoy it's better for us too because it's so loud when they're all here because we
Yes.
don't have a large house.
Okay.
And it's very overwhelming because the as crazy as it sounds, I don't like noise. My children had to be very quiet because noise upsets me for some reason.
Well, I mean, we all
So,
have our things that set us off, so I
yeah.
get that.
So it's nice to have the one-on-one. We can talk to them without
Yes.
competing because our children are very close. Like they're together all the time. And
Hmm.
so, it's hard for us to squeeze in there and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, right. But
So,
I do think to your point, because while my dad was still alive, my mom passed away a long time ago, but while my dad was still alive, we would have him come to dinner, and sometimes I would invite another sibling so that it would
hmm
just be 2 families. And several times my dad thanked me and he said, it's just a nice way for me to spend time with you without it being overwhelming. And because I also think
yeah,
he liked things a little bit quiet, not
yeah.
not as overwhelming as all of us could be together.
Yes, it can be very overwhelming. And as you know, when you're from a big family, everybody talks at the same time.
Yes, we do. Some of us louder than others.
And then you have the children running around.
Yep.
Uh, screaming and crawling under the table, doing what children do.
Yes, perfectly normal, but when you expand that number, it gets to be a
Yes.
little bit much.
Yeah, because
I
now
love that.
there's about 30, I don't know, 30 something when they all come over.
Yeah.
And it in
That's
2,000
really
square feet.
That's really funny that you said that. 30 something. People have asked me, well, how many is it when you all get together? The number hasn't changed in the last couple years, and I just say like it's 40 something. I don't know. I stopped counting. It's just a lot.
It's a lot. And my whole family is gigantic. I am number two of 58 cousins,
Holy cow.
58 first cousins.
Okay.
So when we have a cousins reunion a couple of years ago, just the people that came from my grandparents that were there, not all of them were there. There was 137 of us.
Wow.
And it's just loud and a lot. And so, yeah, we just say something, whatever the number is, plus something.
Yeah, yeah. Just
We
know
don't
it's a
know.
lot.
Yes.
Rachel, what do you not do so well?
I am not good at saying no. I'm
Okay.
working on that. That's one of my New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
I'm learning that no is a complete sentence. Um, I'm not very good. I'm not very good at keeping house. I am the clutteriest bug you ever met. I have a lot of things I'm not good at.
I only wanted one. We're going to stop right there. You've already given me two. We're going to stop there.
Yeah, in business, time management,
Okay.
hands down.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's to your credit, I do think that the time management is something you've had to make a shift in
Mhm.
your business since you transitioned to window treatment. So I think more than the rest of us, you deserve a little bit of time to make that adjustment. I don't know what my excuse is. I don't have one. So
I am a procrastinator for sure.
yes, that
And
is a
I
problem of mine as well.
I think I think it'll be easier when I'm in a space where there's not so much chaos.
Okay, yeah.
It's
Um,
hard to manage anything in that.
I agree, and I tend to become more of a procrastinator when my space is chaotic. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rachel, what about you would surprise people?
This does surprise people. I never wanted children at all. I don't even really like children. I would have just been a wandering nomad.
I'm not laughing at you at all. You're
Yeah.
right. That surprises me.
Yeah. And I always say, I'm not sure what happened, except God just said, ha ha ha,
Yes.
I'm going to show you. So that's a crazy thing. And I
That
mean, he's laughing hard this year
yeah.
because in this summer, we will be adopting a 5-year-old family member's child that needs care. And
Okay.
so I'm like, I think we've lost our minds,
Quite possibly.
but there's no one else. And so I said, okay, God, what are you thinking? I'm not going to say no because if I say no, there might be four more behind him.
Right. So this is not the time to practice that no being a complete sentence, right?
That's right. So,
So, Rachel, I think it's a funny juxtaposition for you that you want your children to say that you loved well and that you really didn't want to have children and don't like them. And part of me is laughing, Rachel, because I have always said this about my mother. She should have been an artist in a loft in New York City.
that sounds
Like
lovely.
being exactly. And she liked quiet. And with
Mhm.
5 boys and 4 girls, she never got quiet. And
Never.
by the time we were all getting out of the house, she became ill and passed away. So she never got that time
Aw.
of being quiet and having her life transition to that. And there are times when I just laugh about like I, I just said this to one of my sisters the other day. Like, I wonder how different my mother's life would have been if she had not had 9 children. I'm so grateful she did because I wouldn't have my
Mhm.
siblings, but I don't think she had quite the sense of humor about it that you do.
Well, that's all you can do. You can either laugh or cry. And
Right.
my mom agreed. She said, "You are not nice." She said, I've had to really work at it." But I became a mother really young, and
Okay.
I had to learn how to be a mother. Like, you love your kids from the first breath, but
Right.
then to learn how to
Absolutely.
be a mother
Yes.
and how to handle all of it was a lot,
Yes.
especially when they got to be like teenagers. And I mother different than most people. My
Okay.
kids have they one daughter is writing a book that it's ridiculous about how I mothered because they always said I was a cross between Medea and Mrs. Doubtfire.
I need to read this book when it comes out.
It's not- If that weren't true, I might be offended. But I said I was learning right along with you, and every time I thought I knew what to do, you guys changed the game.
Yes, yes. And I don't know about you as the parent of adult children, but I'm finding out how much I did wrong when I was raising my children and what I should have done and what I could have done better and what hurt their feelings and all these things that I was
Yes.
not prepared to hear.
Yes, I have found out. Now, I was a mother that apologized a lot.
Man,
If
me too.
and I always would tell them, "Don't ever hurt someone's feelings on purpose." If it's an accident, that's one thing, and I
Right,
never wanted to hurt their feelings on purpose.
right.
And so if they would say, "Mom, that really hurt my feelings." But they have brought things up recently and I was like, "I did that? I said that?
Yes, I've had the same thing happen with my kids.
Gosh." I was like, "I am so sorry. I don't know what to I'm sorry that I did that."
It's interesting, Rachel, because my younger daughter said something in particular, and literally I felt like I had been punched in the stomach. Like, wait, I did
Aw.
that? And I looked at her and I remember it had to do with something that some doctors had suggested we do for her to help her with a problem she was having. And I felt terrible. And I said, I'm so sorry. That was never my intention.
Mhm.
I thought what I was doing for you was the healthiest thing, it was the best thing for you. I never saw it from that perspective. And she turned and she looked at me and she said, "You know what? I'm really glad I brought that up because it's always kind of bothered me and hurt my feelings. But
Mhm.
hearing your perspective, like she understood I wasn't being mean. I wasn't being
Yes.
unkind. It was something I thought I should be doing for her." And so I think the
Mhm.
conversations are important. But yeah, sometimes my children shock me like, oh, remember the time mom said that? And I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm
Whose
like,
mom was
well,
that?
yes, yes. And I think the best advice I ever got was um, your children, it doesn't matter what you say, it matters what they hear.
Yes.
When I heard that, I tried to parent a little differently. Like, I know what I'm saying, but what are you hearing when I say that? And
Mhm.
again, I don't know if it made a difference. I should have saved up for therapy instead of college, but whatever. I'm not going to suggest that either of my children write a book. That's for sure.
Well, they decided amongst themselves, that that's what they were all gonna do.
Well,
So
well,
we'll
I want to
see.
link to that book when it comes out because I think it sounds hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
uh, Rachel, what do you love best about this business?
I For being a shy person, I love the people. I have
Hmm.
really enjoyed the clients that I've met and the designers. I've gotten to know some of the designers pretty well. Just having that interaction and
Okay.
the interaction, because part of our job is we're all therapists when you
Yes,
go out and
absolutely.
with other people. And just creating something beautiful together with them is so
Okay.
intimate and personal. And I really love that. And
Okay.
then, like, it's getting to know the people that are also doing what I do. It has
Yes.
been amazing because it's always positive and encouraging. It's like you get another little puff of wind in your sail.
Isn't
And I
that the
really,
truth?
yes, I just love it. And it's pushing me out of my comfort zone.
Okay. Especially for someone, as you said, who was always shy your whole life.
Oh, yes. September was very overwhelming for me at the conference.
I can appreciate that. I've talked about the fact that I love seeing everyone, but sometimes at a certain point, like it's just enough. I've gotten enough input and I need to step back
Mhm.
from it a little bit, but I wouldn't trade it for the world to not go
Oh, no.
because that
Right.
opportunity, like you said, that little wind beneath my wings feeling of this is exactly what I needed and who I needed to connect with. I love that.
Yeah. It was wonderful for sure.
What do you like least about this business?
Um, I don't, I haven't found anything I don't like yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't, maybe it hasn't been long enough. I don't know, but I'm just having a great time.
All right, I like that answer. So again, like the challenges question, as someone who has been a single parent of six children and now 13 and another one coming into your family, in what ways do you think you're resilient, Rachel?
Probably, I can honestly say probably in about every way, just because I have had to be.
Yes.
And I people ask me all the time, how have you, I don't know how you navigated any of that. I said, well, to tell you the truth, I don't know how I did either. Sure. I prayed a lot and it was, God must have just scooped me up and pushed me along the way. Um, so I don't know. I think as females in general, we have to be resilient,
Mhm.
um, and strong and very stubborn,
Yes.
really,
Yeah.
because there's no other way to make it. It's like we're grinding the way the whole time.
Yes. That's very
I
true.
don't
And
know if
I find that we can't be in this business if we aren't resilient.
you cannot.
Yeah.
Sometimes when things are hard, I literally say to myself, just be a duck. Be a duck. I am a duck. It's rolling right off
Yep.
and we're just going to keep on swimming.
Yep, those legs are working full time underneath that water surface.
Oh my goodness.
So, Rachel, I know you sent me links to your social media. I will put those in the show notes for people who want to connect with you. Um, I don't remember the last time I have laughed this much recording a podcast. So thank you for that. I've just
Wonderful.
enjoyed this so much. And I'd like to wrap it up by asking you what advice you would give to someone who's new in this business, someone who's been in business for a while, or both.
Oh, I don't know if I've been around long enough to give advice. Um, the only thing I would say is learn as much as you can, laugh as much as you can, just enjoy your time. Life is hard. We're dealing with beautiful things. What
Yes.
what else do we have? Just enjoy. Enjoy.
I think that's incredibly wonderful advice. Rachel, this has been an absolute delight for me. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
I really cannot remember the last time I laughed as hard as I did recording this podcast. One of the things I absolutely admire about Rachel is she is confident, but she is humble. And her mindset about she can learn anything. I can't even begin to imagine what it must have been like for Rachel to be a widow and have 6 children depending on her. But I genuinely loved how her mom supported her and encouraged her and sort of gave her the mindset of, you don't have an option, you're going to make this work. It was really interesting to hear Rachel's journey, and I really can't wait to see where she goes with this business. I really hope you enjoyed hearing from Rachel today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day.